still under investigation. It appears that DaCara willfully entered a vehicle being driven by Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez, 35-year-old male, out of Bowie, Maryland.
DaCara Thompson's parents are living a nightmare right now. They just want their daughter back home safe. And baby, let me tell you, every single detail that comes out about her disappearance gets more disturbing by the minute, like something straight out of a crime series. Here's what we know. Go Easy Mendez, the man police have their eyes on, somehow convinced DaCara to get into his car. But how? Her own vehicle was parked in a no parking zone, which tells us loud and clear she never planned to be gone long. She even told her dad, "I'll be right back." That's the last thing he heard from her. Now here's the part that'll make your skin crawl. When police checked her car, they found everything inside. Her purse, her credit cards, her debit cards, even $60 in cash. She left it all behind. If she was planning to go anywhere willingly, why would she leave all that untouched? It makes no sense.
Police came to the scene. We did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
And this next part is the biggest red flag of them all. Instead of sneaking her to some out-of-the-way hotel where most people try to cover their tracks, Mendez actually brought DaCara to his family home. Yes, the same house where kids live, where multiple relatives stay. What kind of person feels comfortable dragging a stranger into their family's space if they know they're about to do something wrong? It's either reckless, or it means he thought he'd never get caught. And wait until you hear this. Reports say investigators allegedly found women's underwear in Mendez's bedroom. Underwear that doesn't belong to DaCara. That raises the darkest question of all. Are we talking about a serial predator here? How many other women could be involved? Did DaCara know him before this? Or did she walk right into the hands of someone who had been planning this for a while? And even scarier, what are the rest of his family members hiding? You're telling me a whole household didn't notice anything strange going on? Somebody in that house knows more than they're saying.
It's been hard.
Now, while her family is begging for answers, the internet has turned into a battleground. Some people are blasting groups like BLM, saying the reason no one's marching or raising hell is because the suspect isn't white. The claim that unless the case fits a certain storyline, Black lives don't get the same energy. And then, to make it worse, social media trolls are spreading disgusting rumors, trying to claim DaCara was selling herself. It's beyond insulting. It's a slap in the face to her grieving family. Here's what can't be denied. DaCara's father first reported her missing just before 9 p.m. on August 23rd. He told police he last saw her on the night of August 22nd. From that moment on, nothing has added up. Every clue only makes the situation look darker, and the truth, whatever it is, seems buried under layers of lies, silence, and secrets. DaCara's father said the worry started almost instantly. When she didn't come back home like she promised, he tried calling her phone, but she never picked up. He told police she even texted him that night, saying she was just going to grab gas and would be home soon. But after that message, silence. No calls, no texts, nothing. She never walked back through that door. By August 24th, the family decided to track her phone. Her siblings said they all use the Find My Phone app, since DaCara is the youngest of 5, and they keep tabs on each other. When they pulled it up, their hearts dropped. The phone had been shut off completely. The last ping showed her near Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road in Hyattsville. That's exactly where her white SUV was found parked. The family rushed to the scene, spotted her car, and called police right away. At first, they were holding on to hope. Maybe DaCara was out there, scared, but alive. But then came the detail that made everyone's stomachs turn. Her bank account never moved. Not one charge, not one withdrawal. Days were passing and no signs of life. That's when hope began to slip away. On August 31st, around 4:50 p.m., everything changed. Maryland State Police responded to a disabled vehicle call near Route 50 on the short bridge crossing the South River in Annapolis. When troopers looked down the embankment about 30 feet below, they saw what no family ever wants to hear. There was a body. Then, on September 3rd, detectives officially sat down with DaCara's family. They told them the nightmare was real. The body had been identified as DaCara, matched through her tattoos and jewelry. Her loved ones were crushed when they learned she had suffered skull and facial fractures. This wasn't an accident. This was violence. But here's where things take a chilling turn. Surveillance footage from the very night she disappeared, August 23rd at 3:06 a.m., showed DaCara walking away from her white SUV on Jasmine Terrace. The video captured her heading down Riggs Road toward University Boulevard in Hyattsville. And then it happened. She walked into the parking lot of a business, went straight to a black GMC Yukon Denali, leaned in to speak with the driver, then walked around to the passenger side and got inside the front seat. That vehicle wasn't just any SUV. It belonged to the suspect himself, Go E.Z. Mendez. Police pulled the tag, traced it back, and discovered it was registered to an address on Cambridge Drive in Bowie, Maryland. That was the home of the very man now at the center of this twisted case. And just like that, the mystery of DaCara's final steps pointed directly at him. But here's the part that'll make you stop and think. When DaCara left with Hugo, she left her purse sitting in her car. A car that was parked right in front of a fire hydrant at 3 o'clock in the morning. Who does that? Who leaves all their belongings behind in plain sight in a car that could have been ticketed or towed at any second just to hop into somebody else's vehicle? That detail alone raises 1,000 questions. Was she planning to come right back after a quick ride? Was she in such a rush that she didn't even think twice about it? Or, and this is the darkest thought, was she forced, maybe even snatched with no chance to grab her things? Then again, maybe she trusted Hugo enough to feel safe leaving everything behind. But if that's the case, did she also turn off her location tracker herself? That would mean she didn't expect danger. The timing, the place, the decision to abandon her purse, it's all too suspicious. Was this meetup with Hugo something they planned in advance, or was it just a last-minute decision? And why right there, at that exact spot? The pieces don't line up. Fast forward to September 3rd. Detectives went to Hugo's home just before 9 p.m. When they got there, they spotted that same black SUV parked outside. They quickly secured a search warrant for the property. The very next morning, September 4th, they came back to serve it. But before they even knocked on the door, court documents reveal they saw a man walk out of the house and slide right into the driver's seat of the SUV. That man was Hugo himself. When police stopped him, Hugo tried to play it cool. He allegedly told them he had been at the Galaxy nightclub on University Boulevard during the early hours of August 23rd. And wouldn't you know it, the club sits directly across the street from where DaCara was last caught on surveillance, climbing into his SUV. Hugo claimed he was supposed to meet up with his ex-girlfriend but never did. But when detectives pressed harder, he denied having anything to do with DaCara's disappearance and immediately asked for a lawyer. Once investigators executed the warrant, the nightmare unfolded. Inside Hugo's bedroom and trash, they reportedly found what looked like DaCara's blood, one of her missing fingernails from her white and pink French manicure, strands of her hair, and even a wig. And it didn't stop there. Multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie were also recovered. All of it painted a picture too disturbing to ignore. That was the moment Hugo E.Z. Mendez was arrested and hit with charges of first and second-degree murder in the gruesome death of 19-year-old DaCara Thompson. Immigration authorities even stepped in, labeling him a criminal illegal alien, and vowed that justice would be delivered for DaCara's devastated family. Detectives later said they believed the horrifying truth is this. In the early morning hours of August 23rd, Hugo killed DaCara inside that very bedroom, then drove her lifeless body to Route 50 in Annapolis and threw her over the South River Bridge like she was nothing. This wasn't just violence. It was calculated, cold-blooded, and cruel beyond belief. Imagine this, someone coldly loading DaCara's body into a car, cruising down Route 50, and tossing her over a bridge like she was trash. It's chilling just to think about. That single act shows a level of detachment so cold, so inhumane, it makes your stomach turn. But here's the part that makes this case even more disturbing. People were actually inside that house while all this was going down. And those people later had to sit down with detectives. One relative told police that she lived there with her family, sharing the home with her cousin, Hugo Hernandez Mendez, and 2 other roommates. She admitted she was in shock, saying she couldn't believe her own blood could be involved in something so horrific. But then she slipped in a detail that raised eyebrows. She said over the last 2 weeks, Hugo had barely been around, and when he was, his whole behavior seemed off. Something about him had changed. She even confessed to investigators that she told her cousin straight up to confess, "Think about that. Why would you tell someone to confess if you didn't already suspect the worst? And it didn't stop there. She revealed that during the investigation, her husband, Hugo, and another relative were all taken in for questioning. Out of the three, Hugo was the only one who wasn't released. The very next morning, immigration agents showed up and took her husband into custody, even though she swore he had nothing to do with the crime. She claimed he cooperated fully and didn't understand why her cousin's murder case somehow sparked an immigration case against her man. The whole situation sounded messy, confusing, and suspicious. Another roommate dropped a bombshell too. They claimed they actually overheard DaCara and Hugo having intercourse that night. But what followed was a chilling detail. They said they heard a strange grunting noise, the kind that made it sound like someone wasn't enjoying what was happening. Hours later, when they woke back up, they noticed something even stranger. Hugo's black GMC was gone, and according to them, that was unusual because Hugo didn't work on Saturdays, and normally his SUV stayed parked right out front. Why was it missing that night? What was he really doing? Meanwhile, two other witnesses told detectives they didn't know anything about what went on. They insisted they lived on the other side of the house and weren't aware of the overnight chaos. But come on. Are we really supposed to believe a house full of people heard nothing when the evidence suggests something violent happened inside those very walls? So now the big question hangs heavy. Are these people hiding the truth? Did they see more than they're admitting? Or are they keeping quiet out of loyalty, fear, or even self-preservation? Because when you stack up the cousin's uneasy statements, the husband's sudden immigration arrest, and the roommate's chilling testimony about what they overheard, it starts to look like this family is holding back major pieces of the puzzle. And until they come clean, DaCara's loved ones may never get the full story. Investigators are still piecing everything together, but here's the part that'll blow your mind. Hugo wasn't some random guy with a clean slate. No, he already had a record that reads like a walking red flag. Long before DaCara's name ever got dragged into this heartbreaking story, Hugo had stacked up a rap sheet that looked more like a manual on reckless living than just bad luck. Let's start with the obvious, multiple DUI charges. Not once, not twice, multiple times. Getting behind the wheel drunk like the streets were his personal playground. And it didn't stop there. He also got caught with open bottles of alcohol in the car, rolling around as if it were a party bus instead of a deadly weapon. That screams irresponsibility, but more importantly, it shows a dangerous pattern of behavior. Add to that the laundry list of reckless driving charges, running stop signs, blowing past red lights, parking wherever he wanted. Then there's operating a vehicle without due care, making unsafe lane changes, and flat out ignoring traffic control devices. Translation, he treated the road like a video game, except real lives were at stake. And get this, he even got busted driving on a suspended license. The state literally told him, "Sit down, you're done." And Hugo's response was, "Nah, I'll drive anyway." That's not just reckless, it's arrogant. It shows someone who thinks the rules don't apply to him. Now here's where the bigger question creeps in. How was he even roaming free with all these charges, especially when authorities labeled him an illegal? How was he slipping through the cracks, stacking up charge after charge, and still out on the streets? That part doesn't add up. Detectives are still trying to figure out whether DaCara and Hugo actually knew each other before that night, but the unanswered questions keep piling up. Why would DaCara leave her SUV parked in such an obvious ticket trap, fire hydrant and all? Was she planning on being gone for just a few minutes? Did Hugo promise her, "I'll bring you right back"? Or was she blindsided, not realizing the danger she was stepping into? And what about her phone location being switched off? Was that her choice, or did someone else make it happen? Are Hugo's family members holding back what they know? Are they covering for him? Because the more you look at the pieces, the more it feels like this may not have been Hugo's first time. And that's the most chilling thought of all. People in the area are whispering that Hugo could be connected to other disappearances, men and women. One local case even stands out. A father who was found murdered just 2 days after DaCara's body was discovered. Could it all be linked? Is that why investigators allegedly found all those women's underwear and lingerie in his room, like twisted trophies? Honestly, this entire case is dark, disturbing, and full of questions with no clear answers. And something tells me this story isn't even close to being over. But what do you think? Do you believe DaCara knew Hugo, or was she tricked into trusting the wrong person? Could he really be tied to other missing people? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I need to hear what you think about this case. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.